Alright, shalom again. This is brother here. I'm here back with another video. Alright, I'll put it on silent this time because the video that ended up cutting there. It was going so yappa, but Salakia. The video ended up cutting because I received a call. Salakia about that. So we're gonna be continuing on because I didn't finish. Right, so let me read back the Luke again. And then we'll go to the I was gonna go to second adjust, right? So Luke 21 again, and verse 26, it says, men's hearts feel in them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, and what the Lord is going to be coming with, the chariots. So that's where they are going to see, and that's what the heart is going to be feeling them for, right? It says, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. Right, so we done read this. So now we're gonna go to the second adjust to show why the heart is gonna be feeling them for fear, because they're gonna see the Lord chariots. So that's why the heart is gonna be feeling them for fear, and some of them may drop dead when they see it, because that's gonna be some sighting to see the chariots of the Lord. Second adjust 15 and verse. Second adjust 13. No. Second adjust 15 and verse 34, it says, behold, clouds from the east and from the north and unto the south, and they are very horrible to look upon, and full of wrath and storm. And there's a Yappa scripture to back that up, because you know why? It says very horrible to look upon. So when they see that, the heart is going to be feeling them for fear. Right? That's going to be some sighting they're going to see. So that is why their heart is going to be feeling them for fear, because that is not going to be no ordinary sighting to see. Right, that way it says very horrible to look upon, and I want to read it in the GNT as well too. Right, I should have posted the lesson by the time I was doing this one. Right, Salakia, but what was gonna write? Second is just 15 and verse 34, right? So like verse 34, it says then suddenly clouds, terrible angry storm clouds, will cover the sky from one end to the other, right? They will collide. Well, actually that is all we wanted, right? Will cover the sky from one end of the heaven to the other. It's gonna be just like this when the day of the Lord reach. Right, it's gonna cover the sky, and that's the chariots of the Lord. Because when that day reach, remember the Lord is gonna send his angel with the great sound of a trumpet to gather his elect from the four winds of the earth. Right? Because Israel is scattered abroad. Right? So I like how it read it in the KJV, because it says, behold, clouds from the east and from the north and from unto the south, they are very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm. And they're gonna release that wrath and storm upon the 2/3 of Israel and the other nations that you saw, Edom and them. Right? They're gonna zap people. They're gonna be zapping people as well when the day of the Lord reach. Because it says second Esdras 13 and verse. Wow. We'll start at 1. It says, and it came to pass, after 7 days I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea that did move all the waves thereof. Right? And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that was seen under him. And this is Yahushua talking about. Right? This is Yahushua it is talking about. Right? Because it says, lo, that man waxed strong that came, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea that moved all the waves. Right? And that's when Yahushua is going to be coming out of the, that could be the fourth dimension. Right? That's when he's going to be coming out of there. Because remember, it have waters in the heavens. Right? It has waters in the heavens. That's why it says it. And there arose a wind and moved the sea. From the sea, that move all the waves thereof. Okay, he's going to come Remember, he has to pass through it, and it have waters in the heavens, right? And it says, and lo, that man walks strong with thousands of heaven, like the thousands of angels and the thousands of chariots he's gonna be coming with. And when he turns his countenance to look, all things that all things tremble that were seen under him, and that will be the people upon the face of the earth. Remember, every eye shall see him, right? Verse 4, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth feel it when it feeleth the fire, right? And that's when he give the command. That's when the Lord give the command to the chariots to stop them, right? Because when you read verse 8, it says, and after this I beheld, and lo, they all which gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, and yet there is fight. And that the Lord playing that delusional spirit on them, that they think they might win, they actually have a chance to win against King of Kings, Lord of Lords. That the Lord playing that spirit upon them, that they're gonna be so afraid, but they still gonna fight. Because the pride in them, the Lord had put, in them, within them, so that they think that they could still win, they still have a chance, right? And lo, he saw the violence of the multitude that came. He neither lifted up his hand nor held any instrument of war, but I only saw that he had sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And that is going to be the laser beams from the chariots of the Lord, right? Verse 11, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence, right upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and the smell of smoke. And when I saw this, I was afraid. I just was afraid when he saw that vision, because it's gonna be a great number of them that is gonna fight against the Lord, right? But after that, after the blast from the chariots, it's not gonna be no more of them. So when I just showed this, he was afraid, right? And can you blame us? Just because this is gonna be a very horrible sighting to see, right? That's why we had to pray and hope we are part of the Lord's elect, so that we will be in the chariots watching down on them getting the judgment, and not with them getting the judgment. That's why we're striving to be a part of the Lord's elect, right? So as you see, so this was a very upper lesson to our Washing Messiah. So with that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Akakadash. Pray it was edifying to the Lord's elect. And until next time, I say Shalom. 1 Corinthians 15:58. Always abounding in work of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, because as you know, the labor in the Lord is not in vain. Alright, brother, stay strong and Shalom. On to the next one. Pray it was edifying to the Lord's elect.